Mr McDonnell used the bizarre excuse when asked how much it would cost to service government debt, during a painful interview with BBC Radio 4's Today programme. The Shadow Chancellor insisted the bill would simply pay for itself after being asked the same question 8 times. The programme's host Mishal Husain hinted Mr McDonnell had struggled in other interviews to answer how Labour plans to tackle the mounting government debt. Mr McDonnell reacted furiously. He blasted the type of journalism where you go into an interview and someone asks you a question on a particular figure. To be honest, is a trite form of journalism. That's why we have iPads, and that's why I have advisors. The Shadow Chancellor also rejected questioning on how much money he would put aside in case no Brexit deal was reached, during a separate interview with Sky News. John McDonnell could answer a key question on government debt during a touchy BBC interview. "I'm not asking about the government, I'm asking about you, to put a figure on the table." Sky News presenter Jonathan Samuel's Philip Hammond announced in Wednesday's Autumn Budget 2017 that the government would put aside £3 billion, with more available if needed. Speaking on Sky News, Mr McDonnell said the government was not being transparent on the cost of quitting the European Union. But presenter Jonathan Samuels tried to push the Labour Chancellor on how much money he would put in the pot. He said, "We know more money is being set aside for Brexit. Do you think Brexit will damage the economy?" The Labour Shadow Chancellor replied Brexit should save the UK money and a decent deal with the Brussels bloc was necessary. He said, "You got slightly cut off there, so I only heard half of it. I think if we don't get a decent deal, it will damage the economy, and that's why I'm really worried that there are quite a few Conservative MPs and some within cabinet now are saying they'll accept no deal. That will have a catastrophic effect on our economy and on jobs." Thursday, November 23, 2017. It's interesting, isn't it, that they're setting aside £3 billion to cover some of the costs of Brexit, and the Chancellor said he'll put more on the table if necessary, when some of those in the cabinet and elsewhere were actually saying that Brexit would save us money. It clearly won't, unless we get a decent deal. Asked what he thought the limit should be on a Brexit pot, Mr McDonnell called on the government to publish more details. Samuel said, "What do you think? I'm not asking about the government, I'm asking about you, to put a figure on the table. You're still not giving me a figure." Asked again for a ballpark figure, Mr McDonnell lost his cool as he said the presenter was not listening. Mr Hammond announced in his budget that early £700 million had already been spent on Brexit preparations, and further funds were available. He said, "We have already invested almost £700 million in Brexit preparations, and today I am setting aside over the next 2 years a further £3 billion, and I stand ready to allocate further funds." He added Brexit Britain will look forward, not backwards, to meet challenges head-on and to seize opportunities for Britain.